Hi everyone, welcome to today's class. Today we're going to see strategic management continuation. Okay, so we already seen what is strategy implementation. So after that, the strategy formulation. Okay, so after the implementation, the next process will be in a strategy formulations. So what it means? It's mainly known as it is a process of offering proper direction to your firm. So it seeks to see the set long-term goals that help a firm exploit its strength fully and catch the opportunities that are present in the environment. So this is a concise and deliberate attempt to focus attention on what the firm can do better than its rivals. Okay, to achieve this, a firm seeks to find out what it can do best. So once the strengths are known, opportunities to be exploited are identified. Because this long-term plan is chalked out for concentrating resources and efforts. Now, since these strategies consume time, energy, resources, but they must be formulated carefully. Because these strategies, once formulated, must ensure a best between the goals and resources, the effort put into by people. So the ultimate goal is of every strength that is being formulated should be deliver outstanding value to customer at all times. Okay, so this Henry Mintzberg, so after much research, found the strategy formulation is typically not a regular. It is a continuous process. Okay, so it is a small, often, and irregular, discontinuous process, which proceeding in fits and starts. Okay, so these are the periods of stability in a strategy development, but also there are periods of a flux. Okay, so of grouping of piecemeal changes of any of the global changes. So based on this, performance results are generally periodic measurements of developments that occurs during a given time period, like a return on investments, profits after tax, earning per share, market share, like that. So this is current performance results are compared with the current objectives. So with that, the previous year's performance results. So if the results are equal or to or greater than the current objectives, the past year's results, the company will mostly continue with the current strategy, because otherwise the strategy formulation process begins in earnest. Okay, so the strategy managers must evaluate the mission, objectives, policies. So in fact, the strategic managers are evaluated in terms of management cycle, values, and skills by the top management. So by this, the Henry Mitzberg, okay, so he has pointed out the corporation's objectives and strategies. Okay, so by this has strongly affected by the top management view of the world. This view determines the modes to be the in the strategic formulation. So by this we have to know process of strategy implementation. So what are the process they used to know? So building an organization that possesses the capability to put the strategies into action successfully. Okay, and supplying resources in sufficient quantity and strategy essential activities, developing policies with the encouraged strategy. Okay, so and such policies and programs which are employed with its helps in a continuous improvements, and combining the reward structure for achieving the results, and using strategic leadership and the process of strategy implementation, which has an important role to play in the company's success. Okay, so by this the process takes place after the environmental scanning, SWOT analysis, and ascertaining the strategic issues. So then prerequisites of strategy implementation we already seen. So this is on a based on a based on a six prerequisites. The first one is the institutionalized strategy, and second is developing proper organizational climate, and the third one is formulation of operating plans, fourth one is developing proper organizational structure, fifth periodic review of a strategy, and finally even the best formulated strategy fail if they are not implemented in an appropriate manner. Okay, and the next one is aspects of strategy implementation. Okay, so by this the creating budgets which provide a sufficient resources to these activities which are relevant to the strategic success of a business. So this is by supplying organization which skilled and experienced staffs, so confirming the policies and procedures of the organization which assist in the successful execution of a strategies. So by this the leading practices, so which are to be employed for carrying out key business functions, so which is to setting up information and communication system which facilitate that workforce of an organization to perform their role effectively. okay, by this developing a favorable work, so which is in a climate and culture, so for proper implementation of the strategy. So by this, the strategy implementation is the time taking part of overall processes, okay, as it plus the formulated plans into actions and desired results. So we already seen what is strategy formulations, okay. So by this, we have to see the modes of strategy formulation. The first mode is entrepreneurial mode, so which means these strategies are formulated by one powerful individual. So because the focus is on opportunities rather than on problems, the strategy is guided by the founder's own visions of directions. Excuse me. And the next mode is adaptive mode, so which means this strategy formulation mode is characterized by reactive solutions, okay, reactive solutions to the existing problems, so rather than the proactive search for a new opportunities, okay. And then third one is a planning mode. So planning mode means which analyzed assume main responsibility for a strategy formulation, because this strategy planning, okay, which includes both the proactive search for a new opportunities, reactive solution of existing problem. So by this, the strategy planning is a systematic disciplined exercise to formulate the strategies, so which relates to the enterprise as a whole to a particular business units, so which is identified as a strategic business units of divisionalized organization. So this consists of making risk-taking decisions, entrepreneurial decisions for the future with the best possible knowledge of their probable outcome and effects. So in this, strategic planning concern itself with the formulation of strategic alternatives to obtain sanctions for one of the alternatives, which is to be ultimately interpreted and communicated in operational terms. So thus, this strategic planning is a forward-looking exercise. So this determines the future posture of the enterprise with special reference to its products market posture, profitability, size, rate of innovation, and external institutions. So by this, strategic planning differs from project planning tactical, so which are planning, operational planning, and the strategic planning is more comprehensive for strategy and dealt with that project planning involves. So looking for new markets or for existing products, developing products, creating demand for the same, and utilizing the existing facilities if they have the capacity to meet the marketing and the selling requirements of the new products. And the tactical planning is done at the functional level, so which is the concern more with the present than the future, so which implies an approach based on expediency with the time schedules, okay. So by this, the operational planning on the other hand, which is essentially concerned with the existing product market operations. So by this, the bread and butter lines, so which means the scope of operational planning is restricted to the operation in the market, so now which the company has a build up in a rapid with the existing range of products through the facilities which are already harmless. So by this, the chose activity consists of selecting most appropriate strategy from among the alternatives. Okay, the framework is helpful in understanding the essential elements which involve in a strategy formulation. So, but the sequence of intelligence, design, choice activities which may not be practiced in the same order. So, it is possible for a strategic planner to first choose preferred strategy, then develop other options. So, which is alternatives to analyze for rationalizing the choice, okay. And the next one is the degree of uncertainty. So in a tactical planning and operational planning is of low order, so it is the high order on a project planning, while the strategic planning risk and uncertainty involved as much as greater. The time span of a discretion of is relatively shorter in tactical operational planning than in project planning, so it is much longer in a strategic planning as compared with the project planning. Thus the value of judgment is much greater significance in a strategic planning than in project planning or operational planning, okay. And the next topic is four important subjective aspects, okay. The aspects on the first one is the cultural aspects. So mainly the four aspects, what are the aspects we have to know. So in this formulation, in this strategy formulation, it is as much as an art, it is the science, okay. So in fact, the art of a strategy formulation that drives fast growth and the firm into new horizons, The leader should develop skills, capabilities to sense early opportunities and be quick in making the strategic moves. So, by this, the success of Airtel and enterprises in India, Google, Southwest Airline abroad are some examples. Okay, so by this, the first one is the cultural aspects. So, which means this cultural defines the way of a life. So, of a decision making in the form. So, the which culturally includes the values, beliefs, norms, and attitudes could be a positive, neutral, negative. Okay, so by this, the culture evaluates and changes according to the changing circumstance of a if a need felt among organizational members. Okay, so we will see here how it can influence the strategy formulation. So by this, the cultural could be passive or submissive. So in such cultural situation, there is an inability to speak up with the senior management. So there have been traditional companies that are promoted by extraordinary entrepreneurs. So who have meticulously grown to the business. So there are a number of family owned business that have grown big and but not become the entirely professional. So by this cultural features are also related to the societal involvement, so which is orientation towards the strategy. So in India, dairy cooperative are highly successful in a Gujarat because such a style involves more democracy, has no gender bias. So however, the same amount of success which could be achieved in a dairy cooperative. Okay, so for this we have seen the case in the startup how cultural factors influence strategy formulations. So some examples I have given in that. Please go through. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Okay. And then second one is a political characteristic in strategy formulation. So which means the term political here refers taking sides or being influenced in a decision making. Okay. So mainly it could be because of the leadership and managerial team. So, okay, so the leadership bias predominantly refers to owners. So capital providers, CEO, they have cited a few instances where promoters have led a controlled or guarded strategy formulation. So these are cases where the leader's initial success drives the spirit, entrepreneurship, and strategy formulations. So by this, the leadership bias could be a present because of the persuasive approach of the leader on a chosen plan. So which is in pushing it through strategy formulation stage. Okay, by this the large regional retailer Subiksha which has become the defect. Okay, so by this the managerial bias can also influence strategy formulation. So which is highly subjective in a nature. So the manager's success or rise in tandem lead at times and strong bias. In addition, there have been a cases of agency theory at work, okay, where managers, agents, or trustees of investors are after a point. So which is driven by their own personal motives. So this makes them drive the strategic direction, so which are convenient to them instead of being scientific in formulations. Okay. So this has been well articulated by Oliveri. He is a Williamson 1970. Okay, so this is applicable even today, especially in a large corporates, the MNCs. It could be difficult to be conclusive for us to comment on whether it is advisable. So however, such bias must be validated through systematic analysis and choice process. So during this contemporary business conditions, we see the boards are effective in handling this bias. Even then, the bias, organizational politics are subjective in nature and influence strategy formulations. And the third one is role of directors and CEOs. So the board of directors, so okay, we who are elected as a representative of a shareholders, its role is to oversee the function of a company and ensure that the company continues to operate the best interest on all stakeholders. So however, the contemporary business, so which is not an easy task. In addition, a board's effectiveness is the key performance which is driver in Indian companies. So this is true from the perspective of the individuals and intangible value they bring to the business and its shareholders. So the board could be passive, active, aggressive. So there were times when the was considered the rubber stamp of the promoters. So with an increased orientation towards responsible corporate governance prevalent in the business landscape today. So the perception and effectiveness of a board of directors which has now changed to the strategic asset of the company. So a good board needs to set a tone that will promote a transparent culture and effective dialogue. So which is among the directors, senior management, various functions and risk managers. So by this the composition and the role of the independent directors are also now examined closely. So the independent director should significantly contribute to the functioning of a board. So which is through requisite understanding of the company, and business boards must be involved in their own performance evaluation and enable continuous feedbacks. And the effective board, so which is build capabilities within themselves or and their organization, which allow them to jointly protect existing assets, so which is a compliance role, okay, as well as the manage threats of future growth, which is strategy oversight role. So it is important to note that there are some key functions, okay, which should be fulfilled by the board, such as the following. The functions are follows: the strategic formulation, budgets, business plan, etc., and monitoring the effectiveness of a company's governance practices, and selecting, compensating, monitoring key executives, and overseeing succession planning, and deciding executive board remuneration, and ensuring a formal transparent board nomination and election process, monitoring and managing potential conflicts and interest management by board members, shareholders, including misuse of a corporate assets and abuse in related party transactions, and ensuring the integrity of the corporation's accounting and financial reporting system, which include the independent audit, and ensuring control system for risk management, financial and operational control and compliance. So by this overseeing the process of disclosure and communications. So in this the Indian companies understood the importance of a board composition and large business houses, okay, which is to maintain illustrious people among their board of directors, okay. So some examples, okay, Capital Market International Finance, which is similarly many of the leading companies have well known the personalities. So which as independent directors who can bring high value to the strategy formulation and direction to the company based on their intellect and experience. And the fourth one is role of Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director. So a managing director is a director of a company, so who is given special powers by its constitution. So in most companies, this is the senior most manager of a company, so who is heading the organization, and so many have a title as a chief executive officer, CEO. In some companies there are chief operating officers, so who are responsible for the routine operation of the company, so leaving the CEOs free to plan and direct the company strategy. We are now commonly come across such job profiles in the many IT firm in India or elsewhere. So by this, a managing director is in a leadership role, so of an organization, and he may have to work toward fulfilling a motivational role for the stakeholders. So a managing director has responsibility for all overall the management of a company, so which including the staff, customers, the budgets, the company's assets, and all the company rescuers. Okay, make the best use of them and increase the company's profitability. The CEO and the board must be an ideas of empowerment of the company. So it is the CEO MD responsibility to implement, improve upon or ignore these ideas. So the responsibility of the CEO is to align the company internally, externally, so with a strategic vision. So this CEO must balance internal external initiatives to build up a sustainable company. So this clearly brings out the role of CEO in a strategy formulation. In some companies, the CEO primarily coordinates external initiatives as functional level executives, so which is a marketing information, technical, financial are oriented towards the internal initiatives. So by this, on the other hand, the emerging entities, so which are promoters acts as a CEO on a very different platform. So that the corporate levels at times when other top level executives are not incorporated with the small operations. So it's a duty of the CEO or sometimes founder to assume those positions. These companies both formulation and execution responsibilities lie with the CEO, and some CEO reach celebrity status with their performance and achievements. Okay. So you may note that the impact of a leaders, they have strategy formulation through setting a vision, ensuring that it becomes a shared vision. So this is the strategy for a high performance. So which is to corporate history has seen many such leaders and their roles. Okay, in strategy formulation. This is by mid-sized company. So which is a startup not for a profit organization, and government have a such leaders. Okay, and the next one is strategy formulation stages and frameworks. So we already seen the developing strategic vision, objectives. Okay, so then the stages, strategy formulation stage is mainly known as, these strategics try to run their organization, which is based on a systematic objective method of a strategy formulation. So the strategy implementation and strategy evaluation, this approach of managing the firm is dependent on a long term or a short term objectives of the firm. So which is known as a managing of by objectives. So unfortunately, the importance of strategy on a chief executive officer agenda is mostly very low, because the Silver has a referred to a survey who done by Cultures Group in August 1996, the ranking. Okay, so it has been observed therein that an average strategy formulation, so which ranks sixth in important in 10K agenda items that are top executives. Only 14% of the executive put future strategy at the top of the list. So, and out of these 14 cent, the only a few executives depend on systematic and objective approaches. So, for the strategy formulations, okay. So, those who assign less priorities are a strategy formulation, who try to manage their organization either by explosion of a past plans, okay, who works achievements, or by reacting under the crisis. So, who is allowing external events to dictate the what is when is the business decision, or by creating the hope that failures are a pillars of a success, or not doing any unified planning or directing all to their best. So even in today's competitive world, these executives are trying to survive without any objective frames, or sometimes without any planned strategy. So they refuse to realize that the future will not be extrapolation of the business past. Okay, obviously they are failing in their endeavor, and this failure indicates the need of the pillars. Okay, so need of the strategy formulation framework. So generally this strategy formulation framework is the 4-stage integrated process of a decision making. Excuse me. So the first strategies are concerned with analysis and diagnosis of external environment. In this process, these strategies develop a competitive profile matrix, so which is the external factors evaluation matrix, or external factor index matrix, which is the environment threat or opportunity profile. So this stage is also known as external input stage. Okay. So by this they develop internal factors evaluation matrix or internal factor index matrix, okay, or a strategic advantage profiles. So the third stage focus on generating alternative strategies by matching the basic external factors with the basic internal factors. Okay, in view of the same, the third stage is teamed as a matching stage. So this matching stage techniques include strength, weakness, SWOT analysis. Okay, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Okay, and threat, opportunities, weakness, strength, TOS analysis, SWOT and TOS analysis. This strategic position and action evaluation means space matrix, internal external matrix, IE matrix, and indexed internal external matrix means HE. Okay, and grand strategy means GS matrix. So by this the fourth stage is a decision staging involving quarantine strategic plan matrix, so which reveals the relative attractiveness of the different alternatives. The strategy is generated in the earlier stage and provides the objective basis for final selection of the corporate strategy. Okay, and then next one is a step 1, step 2. Okay, developing strategic vision, the first step. So they have to vision specified what direction or a path to follow. Okay, and specify what products or market technologies and customer policies to allows. Vision communicate market aspirations to stakeholders of a company, and helps to boost morale of organization which engage them for a common directions. And clear vision helps to provide a motivated, stimulated environment in the organization. And vision specify management aspirations for the business in long term. Okay, and the next two, so step 2 is a setting objectives, so which means the corporate objectives. Okay, corporate objectives are outcome of a mission vision of organization. So the objective defines specific performance targets, results and growth that organization wants to achieve. So sorry to determine the objectives and approach, known as a balance scorecard is used. Okay. So okay, by this this class is over. We'll see you all in next class with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye. Please be safe. Be at home. Okay. Thank you.